Alright everyone, initially I wanted to use my hand drill. After doing a lot of research, I just realized that it's probably a better idea to use a drill press. So I grabbed this drill press off of Facebook Marketplace for $40. Everything looks good. I don't think this was used a lot. This set you can get at Harbor Freight, and this was $14.99 plus tax. So basically these three is the ones that you would need. What you want to do, you want to take this 2564s, this 9.9 millimeter, okay? Which is this one right here. It's 9.9, 2564s. You would put it in without forcing. You want to go counterclockwise. So you're not actually drilling, you're not going to the right, you're going to be going to the left. So that way you're going to clean up the sidewall. So if you've never used a drill press before, you have to make sure that the body of the guitar is perfectly level on the table. Well, the drill press itself needs to be level as well. But then most important thing here is you have to mark your drill so you won't go too deep. So after that I'm using 2764s, doing a little bit of cleanup and just taking my time, and yeah. I just had some bolt without the head. I'm just gonna use that to press it in. I'll probably hit it some more, just a little bit. So as you can see, it was a snug fitment even after using all three bits, which is not a bad thing. I still don't know why I decided to apply the glue this way. Just wasn't thinking, I guess, but not that it's really a mistake. Wouldn't say it's a mistake, but it would be better if the glue was probably put in the hole instead. Because as you can see, as I'm pressing it in, all the glue basically comes out. I'm gonna plug it up with some chopsticks. That's the closest thing I have, and I've used them before. Worked fine, so I'm gonna use that. It's about to be done for today. So this is what everything looks like. Alright, another weekend, and here's my progress so far. So what I did was I decided to go ahead and paint the exposed wood where I basically tried to smooth things out. And I just went to Walmart and I bought this acrylic paint. This was just about 50 cents or so. So I just decided to go ahead and coat pretty much everything, back and front, right here. And so yeah, and what I just did, I increased the hole for my pots. This is 3/8, and I've got the 3/8 drill bit attached to my drill. Wasn't big enough for my CTS pots, so I had to use this attachment on my Dremel. This fit perfectly in the hole, kind of smooth things out again. This is what it looks like. Let me put it this way. There we go. It's fine. This thing will not be visible. Let me see, let me put some tape out. There we go. It's fine. It will be just fine. Alright, now that I'm getting back to mounting the claw, Jackson claw right here. And this is the Gotoh on the right, so you can look for yourself. It's nearly the same. So I've used my hot glue to glue the claw, and as you can see, I positioned it right in the middle. Good enough. So that way it's not gonna fall apart on me, and I can kind of move it around if I need to, but I'm just gonna pretty much hold my spacer, my red spacer, where I need it to. And then I already went ahead and attached my drill bit from my Harbor Freight kit. So I've measured the screws. 7/64 is the one I need in standard. Alright, so I got my first hole done. What I was basically doing is I just slightly touched it with my nail I had around, so I just kind of put a small dot there as the starting point. And then, since I only have two hands, I kind of held this thing here with my left hand, and I currently have it between 3 and 4 on the speed, so not too slow, not too fast. And so pretty much I was just kind of controlling it with my hand, how far I wanted to go. But I did have my mark right here, which is almost gone. I need to mark it again. And as far as the angle goes, I was pretty much just holding it this way, and I was kind of even touching the body of the guitar with it, so that way it's not going to go in at a steep angle. I actually want it to go right in the body and not come out from my cavity. So this one is fine now. So I've got one more to go. Alright, both holes are done. Alright, the neck is finished. I gave it a quick polish. The headstock frets are good to go. Just need to put some oil once I'm ready to put some strings on it. The back is also fine. It was a little dirty, but I just wiped it down, so came off relatively easy. And so, well, at least this step is done. Alright guys, another day, another problem. Just wanted to show what I'm dealing with today. So, first thing you may notice, I don't have to get shoulder screws. These, the Gotoh ones, are just fine in my case. So I'm saving $20 at least. So, but the real problem is this. So if this is the neutral position, like this, that's all. That's as far back as it goes, and so if we flip the guitar, all right. So this right here would be approximately the neutral position, but this is the problem. Watch this. So it's not the block that's hitting the wood, it's the whammy bar assembly right here, because it is significantly longer than what the Jackson came with. So it's hitting it right over there. You can see that. And you can actually see how the whammy bar, or actually the whammy assembly, coming against the tape. So you can see the indentation there. So this is the area that actually needs to be worked on a little bit. Okay, the issue is fixed. I can finally fit the bridge and not have any clearance issues with the Trem assembly. I started with this piece here to speed up the process, and now, which is I think totally optional, I want to hit it with this one here to give it like a better shape and make it look better, but you know, no one's gonna see it. But anyway, that's what needs to be done. And alright, and just to finish this off, I applied a little bit of that acrylic paint that I got from Walmart, just to cover up the raw wood, and that's basically it here. So I should talk about my electronics and how things are gonna work. So custom pickups, hand wound in UK. My friend did these for me. Spec wise, these are very close to bare knuckle pickups. For my switch, I have it's a Schaller Megaswitch Type M. There's different types of these switches, and it's a 5-position switch. And so the switch, I did not have to modify the body at all. It was just it was direct mount. It was just perfect. CTS spots, unfortunately only the long ones were available, so I had to go with the long ones. And slightly sticks out, but that's as best as I can get them to fit. I did have to drill the hole. It's a 3/8 hole that I needed to do in order to fit these. Let's take a closer look. So this diagram here, so if you're interested, HH6 is what I chose, and again, the reason is simple, because the pickups are so hot, we don't really know how they're going to sound yet. And there was a test batch that we decided to play it safe. And of all the configurations Schaller offers on the website, and you just kind of choose which configuration you like, and it will tell you which switch you need. So in my case, position 1 gives me this, so you can kind of see on the picture. And just to play safe, so if position number 1 is too hot, well, I can cut off one coil and just play using the outer coil on the bridge. Position number 3, traditionally, or how my Jackson was from the factory, right? So position number 3 just gives you both pickups at the same time. Well, considering how hot they are, we thought this wasn't a good idea. The fact that this switch can give us this is the reason why we went with HH6. So I suggest that if you're in a similar situation or you just want to get different tones out of your guitar, I highly recommend this 5-way switch, and this is how it fits in the body. I mean, this is just really nice fitment here. Very well made in Germany. So if I were to do this again, not sure if I would buy a soldering station just for this project. You know, I don't do this kind of things every day, but definitely get a very nice tip for your soldering gun. But anyway, what I did here is I did use Flux for the first time in my life. I mean, I've soldered before, but I never used Flux. This time though, just basically get a toothpick, just put, you know, apply a little bit of flux paste in the middle of these pads, and slightly touch it with the soldering gun just so it spreads, and then it can basically accept solder. Without flux, it just would not work because I tried. And here I had a small accident. I just accidentally applied a little bit too much of flux, and it just went everywhere, and so did my solder. So I had to do some cleanup work. But the good thing is that both of these pads had to be connected together according to my configuration and my diagram, so that I guess wasn't a big issue, but that's just something for you to keep in mind. You know, I had to make some drawings here, and that's just for my reference. But then they give you this. It's like a, I guess, practical application on how things look. Again, to some of you this may be okay, but not to me. So I mean, they're telling you all the connections. You see, they're saying, for example, connection M, hot wire, inner coil. Well, you know, depending on your pickups, you're gonna have to test them out and you know, basically find that wire. I know I had to do this, and it took me a minute to understand which wire is which, to be able to follow this diagram. And then I created my own version of that. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but the diagrams from Schaller were not user-friendly, at least to me. It just, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm not exactly sure what am I supposed to follow. So yeah, I'm very visual and need to kind of see things clearly so that I know what to do and so that I can follow. As you can see, it took me a minute to understand which wire is which one is hot, which one is cold, and I had to do this with both pickups to really understand that. And then, you know, once I drew this, it was just easier for me to follow. So yeah, like for example, U and V goes together, and so is same thing with M and N and O. So you know, I thought about how I wanted to do this, put a piece of like a jump wire, but because everything is so tiny and so close together, I just decided to connect the pads like this using solder. That's all. So at this point, I'm finishing up the build, I guess, if I can call it. Right now, I'm just kind of dry fitting the nut, and just to see which shims I need to use. So when I removed the Chinese Jackson locking nut, it didn't actually come with any shims. I was surprised because the action at the first thread was on the higher side, and it was driving me nuts. Nothing I could do about that. I could, if I had a belt sander, I could probably remove some of the metal and just shave it off slightly and lower it that way. But as far as the shims go, it comes with, the Gotoh one comes with 3 shims, thick, middle, and really thin one. If I'm not mistaken, I've used the thick one and the thin one, so I skipped the one in the middle. Oh yeah, and be sure to use the screws that your guitar came with to hold the nut in place. You don't want to use the Gotoh ones because they're too thick and they're much longer. So yeah, you don't want to mess with that. So just use the screws your guitar came with and you'll be good. The last part of my installation was the tuners from Gotoh as well. I had great luck with them before, and so I had no problem with going with them again. Even though these are direct replacement tuners, for some reason the mounting hole wasn't 100% aligning with the hole that was drilled in the headstock. So in a perfect world, you probably want to fill that hole and then with a dowel or something, and then probably drill a new hole. But that again, it's a perfect world, and there's nothing perfect here. So what I decided to do is I just basically opted for the screws that these Gotohs came with, and yeah, it worked out perfectly fine. Well, this is it. This completes my video, and I'm just wrapping things up here. And then I'm gonna put some 11s on this thing. 1154 I believe is what I have, and I'm putting this guitar in drop C. So yep, so hopefully some of you find this video helpful.